Burgess. Here. Gordon. Here. Myers. Here. Hoskins. Here. Washington. Here. Williams. Here. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Hello, Mary. I'm great.
Burgess. Here. Gordon. Here. Myers. Here. Hoskins. Here. Washington. Williams. Here.
All right, move to item number 2, public comment. All comments and questions directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment on the topic of their choice for agenda items only. Each speaker will be allowed 1 time to speak. Is there anyone who would like to have any questions or comments?
Langston, I hate to ask this question. How much is it costing us for Robert Fox on our settlement?
$14,000 plus his pension.
$14,000 what?
$14,000 plus his pension, what he put into his pension.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Judy Guest here. I have several questions that relate to the same subject, and that's the agenda for tonight. And the concern is the consensus voting, and I really feel that in the event of a timeline or an emergency, that this is a good thing. But on a regular basis, I don't understand why it's used when a lot of times something comes up and it's a consensus, and you can tell by the looks and that some of the people sitting up there aren't even aware that it occurred. And it's obvious by the reaction that certain board members don't know what's going on or about the consensus approval vote or its content. I feel this is a bad thing to get stuck in. It was used in the previous administration, and it appears to be used on a regular basis with this administration. And I feel that everybody sitting up there is voted officials. They were voted by the people. They deserve their right to say yay or nay, just like anybody else does. And I don't feel that a consensus vote gets the vote of every single person sitting up there. And I don't feel that it's fair. I feel that you can call certain people and know that they're going to vote your way, get that, and then say, okay, it's cut and dried, it's done, we got our vote. Nobody else has to know about it until the board meeting. And I think we as residents have a right to know what's going on, to hear and see what each trustee is doing with whatever is presented for them. Why they feel that they should vote yes, or why they feel they should vote no. So I think the consensus vote is not a good thing used on a regular basis. And I don't understand why it's being used on a regular basis. We are cutting our time more than in half from what we used for board meetings in the previous administration. So it's not a time thing. And I don't understand what the purpose is of having a consensus vote. Thank you.
All right, just make sure that we're very clear. The consensus vote is something that the village has the right to use. It's something that other communities use. And I think you're under the wrong impression. We don't think trustees understand about consent agenda because they're very much aware of what a consent agenda is. Each trustee has a right, if they're going to vote no, or they have additional comments or questions, they can have something removed. That's why before we take a consent agenda, the trustees are asked if there's anything that they have, any comments, questions, or like everything removed from the consent agenda. Consent agenda means that everyone is going to be voting yes. And what it does is it shortens the amount of time to get to vote. So trustees have a right, if they're going on a consent agenda, you cannot have 5 yeses and 1 no because of one item. So if there's something on the consent agenda that someone's going to vote opposite of their trustees, that has to be removed from the consent agenda. Just want to make sure we make that clear, and every trustee up here understands consent agenda. And if they all have the right, if they want something removed so they can vote differently, they have the right to ask to have it removed. Again, consent agenda was not used under the previous administration. It was used 2 administrations ago, so we'll make sure we put that up also. Because under the previous administration, it wasn't used. That's where we're at. And you're right, you won't see consent agenda on every single meeting agenda because there'll be things that trustees are going to vote different on. Those items do not get put on the consent agenda. We'll make sure that's very clear. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we move to reports for officers. Item number A, from the mayor's report. Get everything here. First of all, make sure the residents know if you need help with your heating bills. If you qualify for what they call LIHEAP, it's energy. There's an energy and information fair being held Thursday, November the 14th at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that's at 45 Midlothian Turnpike in Crestwood. And again, that's being sponsored by our Cook County Commissioner, John Patrick Murphy. Make sure she leaves out the hallway. Everything we want to make sure the residents realize is what's going on with State Representative Thaddeus Jones. He's going to start having satellite office hours here at the Village Hall. We've opened up a room for him so he can meet with residents. And he will be located here at the Village Hall during the month of October, on October 29th, from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And he will be back in here in November, on November the 19th, from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And that will be his staff. Okay, so I want to make sure. And he'll probably be in here, in and out, but his staff will be here to work with residents. Again, these are satellite hours. He's going to be out throughout his whole entire district, so South Village is not the only location they're going to be at. They're going to be at Chicago, South Chicago Heights Village Hall, Creek Village Hall, Stager Village Hall, Linwood Village Hall, and South Holland, it looks like. So they're getting out there. The other thing we like to bring to the village board's attention is, as you all know, the work on Enbridge, where they were making some repairs and changes to their pipeline behind Peterson Avenue. That work is complete, and we allowed them to use some of our ball fields for parking their equipment. And, what they have done is provided us a check for $12,000. That $12,000 is to be used for damages to the field. And the way it breaks down is they estimate that there was about $5,400 worth of damage done to the field where they parked their vehicles, and they're providing the village with an additional $6,600 to be used for the ball fields themselves, for striping, bringing in the sand, and again, additional repairs and stuff to the fields. So we have $12,000 for that. Come get that. Again, this is to be used for the fields. So we want to make sure that I'd like to say a special thank you to Enbridge. They are good stewards when it comes to working with the community. They came in here to do the pipe work. We had a few meetings. I had a few meetings with them as we prepared for that. I went out there on the job site a couple times with them. So keeping us informed, they had someone out there constantly working with the residents in that area. There was even one resident that they put up in a hotel because they worked like a third shift or something, and that gentleman could not sleep during the day, so they moved that gentleman to a hotel. So they tried to make sure that they did all the purchasing within the village when it came to feeding the employees and using work. And they were also very conscientious when it came to contractors, trying to make sure that the contractors they use were from the state of Illinois. So I thought that was very, very good of them. And again, looking and thinking about our community and residents. So I do know that there's going to be other jobs coming up in the future. I encourage people to get into, if you're a union, to get into your union halls. If you're under the apprentice programs, make sure you get in there. Because they see future projects happening in the years, and they'd rather make sure that they can come out here and hire someone from South Village as long as you're following those qualifications. So we'll make sure we get that out also. Last thing I just want to say is this last week the board had the opportunity to attend the IML conference. I think I probably say it every year. I think this year's conference was probably one of the best conferences we've ever attended. When it came to the subjects, the sessions that were being held, South Village is not the only one that's having problems. And it seemed like the communities, we all share some of the same problems when it comes to distressed properties, when it comes to vacant properties, when it comes to crime in our neighborhoods. There's just so many subjects that we could probably move back and forth. This year, they had a roundtable for clerks, elected officials, and mayors. And I was able to sit in the roundtable with the mayors, and we had some good conversations about issues we're having in our communities and potential issues coming up in the future. Again, we talked everything from, which we just talked about with distressed properties, we talked about vacant properties, we even got into issues about conceal and carry. New laws coming up, we talked about the marijuana, medical marijuana issues coming up with that. So we had some great meetings and very informative, and at the same time we were able to meet with some great contacts. And I think over this next year, you're going to see those contacts that we made come and make presentations before the village board, looking at, just like every community cost savings, what can we do to save the community money, what can we do to save the residents money. And probably over the next year, you're going to see many presentations. And if you think back and you see those are probably contacts that someone on this board met and talked to while they were down at that conference. So I just want to say, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to attend. I thank the trustees for attending, and they are very diligent and very hard working for you. They're working hard for you, the residents, while they're down there, while they were meeting with other elected officials, while they were meeting with exhibitors, and taking the sessions. And I'm sure over time they'll With that said, move to village clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This Thursday, October 24th, we will be hosting a document management seminar that will be put on by Unicode. Unicode is the company who reorganized and recodified our code book. And we have invited several, or they have invited several municipalities from outside of Sauk Village to be a part of that seminar, so we will be hosting it at our facilities. We have people coming from Maywood and further, so we're glad to be able to host that in Unicode. And since we had Unicode in the building, I asked him to stay behind and give us an instruction period on how to best utilize our code book. When the new code book came out, it was a little different than the old version, and a few people didn't exactly know how to navigate it. So what I did was I asked him to stay behind at 2 o'clock p.m. Anybody who utilizes the code book is welcome to stop by at the Senior Center, and we will be able to be, any questions you have, any comments you have, and how you think we could make the code book better, or how it was better before and it's not as easy now. I really need those comments. That's the one day, like the only day, we can have the person here that we can explain why this code book may not be everything the old code book was. So that's on this Thursday, October 24th. Both of those things are taking place at the Senior Center. And there will be lunch served at the seminar that is being provided by Unicode. And also we have, Cook County is trying to get us to open one of our buildings for early voting for the primary and probably for the election. I'm trying to find a building that will not interfere with other activities that are going on, because I know each one of our facilities has something going on during the week, and this is a 2-week process. So it's something that I will be discussing further with the mayor and the board once I finalize what location they'd like to use, but they'd like to do this as soon as possible. If there's any board member that does not feel that Sauk Village should open up their doors as a early voting site, I'd like you to also get that information to me as soon as possible. And we have no village board meeting next Tuesday because it is the 5th Tuesday of the month. So please know that there is no meeting on next Tuesday. I know that Parks and Rec is going to be announcing a trunk or treat for this Saturday, but our church, Church of God, located at 23001 South Torrance, is also hosting a trunk or treat from 2 to 4. Refreshments will be served, as well as the trunk or treat. Anybody is encouraged to bring candy to either one of those events. What a trunk or treat is, for those who don't know, is you park your car in a line of succession of other cars, you have candy in your trunks, and you pass out from your trunk. It kind of helps the kids that cannot get out and do trick-or-treating. That's why it's called trunk or treat. But any organization or any individual who wants to participate, Church of God is at 23001 South Torrance Avenue from 2 to 4, and I'll let Parks and Rec talk about theirs. And as far as the IML, I'd also like to thank the village for allowing us to attend. This conference was the best. I have to say the best of the ones that I've attended. And part of the reason is because the feeling from the other individuals that we were networking with was so positive, to hear so many great things about our mayor and our board, and how they, from the outside of the community, have noticed the difference within Sauk Village and how fast we're moving and how forward we're moving. It was phenomenal. It was wonderful to hear these positive comments and be a part of such a positive networking experience. And the sessions, even though a lot of them are a repeat of the past, I can't tell you, I went into every session and learned something new. Even though I've been to that exact same session at least 2 or 3 times, every session I learned something new. And as the mayor said, your agendas are going to be chock full of different people coming in to make presentations, because I've already set up a couple myself, and I know the trustees and the mayor are going to be just as busy. So again, thank you for affording us the opportunity to attend the conference. You will greatly benefit from that. Thank you very much.
All right, move to item number G, village attorney. Mr. Attorney McGrath.
Thank you, Mayor. No report.
Move to item B, village engineer, Mr. Leonard.
Mr. Mayor, first of all, I am rocking my village engineer shirt tonight, so thank you again. Pat and Rosie for that. I look good in gray, I have to say so. And then on a serious note, we did have a bid opening for the water treatment plant improvements project at last board meeting, and the bids were good. And the low bid was very good. 70% under my estimate for the project, contractor that we've got is a very good contractor. We've had very good experiences with him before in his firm, so I'm tickled pink with the results. So the low bid was $4,131,964. So it's a chunk of change, but it's going to be a great step in the right direction. So tonight on the consent agenda, you've got the notice of intent to award. There's a notice of intent to award because the IEP has to review it first to give their blessing on it before the village can formally award it, since it is a low interest project. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I have a question. Let me see if I can pronounce this. Delineators.
Yeah.
What's the status?
We're rolling along on that. We've got the mayor just signed permits today for IDOT to keep that going. CN did hire a contractor, Fence Masters of Chicago Heights. They're going to do the work. They're a good firm. And so it's rolling along. So we're hoping that that project will be done in November.
Now back to the other one that you talked about, the $4 million. That's probably the $5.2 million low interest loan. Okay.
And who was it awarded to?
All right, move to Parks and Recs, Service Trustee Boston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, go over the trunk or treat that the village is putting on. It'll be on Saturday from noon to 2 over here by the community center. There will be a costume parade that will be starting at noon. The lineup is at 11:30 at Breakover, so the kids can march on down to the community center and have their trunk or treat. Anybody is welcome to come to bring their cars down. We'll park them down by the community center, and we will go around in that area. And the more we have, the better. So anybody can come down and decorate your trunk if you want it, and have a little fun with the kids. We will be giving away some pumpkins as prizes for costume competition, and we also will be doing some drawings where we're giving away pumpkins. We also have a raffle going for a giant bear. The bear is about 5 foot tall. It's a really huge bear. So those will be $1 a ticket. So anyone interested, I see me earlier, if they want to buy some tickets, that will be raffled off at the trunk or treat. I also want to remind everybody that we have the Adopt a Pet over at the animal clinic the same day. Theirs is from Saturday from 9 to 4. So you come over here, get some candy, you go over there and get yourself a pet. So we have plenty of fun that day. And we have Debbie's after that at the church died. So we did attend lots of treats for the kids so they can get a full shirt. This is my first IML meeting that I attended, and I thank the village for the opportunity to do it. It was a great meeting. I learned a lot. I attended a lot of sessions, and it was just a great experience. And I just don't know how more to thank you. Learning for me was the first chance I've had to learn that kind of stuff, and it was very valuable. And I thank everybody for allowing me to go. And that ends my report.
I do have a question. Police Department, Homeland Security, that's it. Are they going to help you on the trunk?
I've already talked to them, and they are.
All right. Trustee Martin, you have anything to add?
Okay.
All right. Move to item D, Beautification Committee. Trustee Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to let you know, Sunday, October 13th, the beautification had their first meeting. It was a good meeting, lasted about 2 hours. A lot of good things were brought to light, so we're definitely going to be moving forward. The next beautification meeting is going to be November the 3rd, which is a Sunday again at 2 p.m. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much. Move to the Ordinance Review Committee. Trustee Myers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one item. I'm going to move our meeting. We're going to have it here Thursday, 2 p.m. and with mini code right afterwards. My entire committee will be present. We have several questions we'll like to ask mini code. Go over a couple of things that we feel that there's a problem with the code itself. And I'm also asking department heads to send a representative. They can't make it themselves, send a representative, and Sherry, if she could not also be there. And with that, Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Intergovernmental Relations Committee. Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to report a couple of things. First of all, last Wednesday we had the CETA representatives that were here. We had approximately 70 people. We had turned some away. I was not aware that they were here from 9 to 1, but they worked continuously. These ladies did not leave. Go on break. I think one may have went to work, but outside of that, they were here taking care of many people as they possibly can, but we had to turn some away at a certain time because we wanted to make sure everyone that was here got waited on, but we did let them know to go to the CETA office. This time it was for seniors, it was for seniors, it was for handicapped, and also families that had children that were 5 and under living in the household. They helped quite a few people to get help. Also here, Bloom Township, they came and I think Mr. Keith set some appointments up for people to get help with their utility bills also. CETA does have a lot of programs. We hope to have this at least once a year. She said she would come back, and I'm going to get a letter sent out to her because I really want to thank her for what she did. It was really, really great that we were able to help those many people. It started at 9, and we had people here at 8 o'clock, so they were really interested. The next thing I want to talk about is as the trustee stated, and I've been going for quite a while. The IML meeting, it was a great, I'll say learning experience for me because I got a chance to really break away and talk to some of the other municipalities. We're all in the same boat. Everyone, you would think that everyone is doing better. That's what the projection is, but they're not. All over the state, they have the same problems, if not worse than ours. The same things go on. We may think we're unique, no, we're not. They have problems with money and things like that. So I was talking to find out what they were doing to try to bridge that gap between what they have and what they do not have, along with trying to see what we can kind of try to come together and try to do, and maybe go down, as the mayor stated before, to Springfield and lobby for some money. But all in all, it was a great experience. I enjoyed it. I did learn a lot. You would think that I would, since I've been going so many times, you can always learn more, you can always find out more. I brought some brochures back for the police department, the fire department, and the police and fire commission. Those were some of the things I brought back, some grants and also some public works, so they can kind of look over some things that, maybe get some phone calls. But all in all, I really appreciate I represented the village and I represented the board along with the other trustees. I did see them around, they were there, they were back and forth in meetings, especially the new trustees. I have to commend them because I have one trustee, I've been there since 8 o'clock that one. I have been in all kind of meetings, say, keep living. It'll keep happening. But that's good that they wanted to learn and they wanted to find out what was going on. And they were very interested in what's going on. I mean, I felt that way when I first started too, so I can understand the feeling. But like I told them, calm down a little bit. Just make sure you bring back some information that you can use later on in the time. But you got a chance to meet other officials throughout the state and find out what's going on with them. And again, I'd like to say thank you very much. Intergovernmental relations, I think our meeting is going to be now on the second Thursday of the month. First Thursday, I'm sorry, okay. I get old. First Thursday of the month here in the Village Hall at 7 o'clock. So it'll be the first Thursday of the month. We're going to have one meeting now, and I'm going to talk to village clerk to be clarified, because I've been all over the place. I've been having meetings every week, and sometimes I don't, so we're going to try to narrow this down, and I'll have it on the calendar the first Thursday of the month at 7 o'clock here at Village Hall. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee. Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to recap by saying about the neighborhood watches. We meet every first Thursday of the month at the fire station at 7 o'clock. And at this point, we are aggressively trying to complete our grid to make sure that we have in place on every block a block captain. It's going to be getting cold pretty soon, so we're trying to really secure every block and every association by having a block club captain. Also, we have a date that we've targeted, November the 8th, which is a Friday, for a tag day at the intersections to request donations from the community to help purchase our neighborhood watch signs. So we're trying to get those signs up before the weather gets too cold. And we're looking for volunteers if you would like to help us at the different intersections. You can see after this meeting. It depends on the weather. If it's snowing in a blizzard, we're not gonna do it, but other than that, we will be out there on November the 8th, so be looking for the Neighborhood Watch program, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee. Move to Public Relations and Community Outreach Partnership Committees, trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things to let everybody know that the Sock Talk articles are due this Friday. This Friday is the last Friday of the month, so all Sock Talk articles will be due this Friday. The Public Relations Committee has chosen the topic for Student Government Day, and it will be revealed in the next Sock Talk. We are in the process of passing that along to school districts, and usually our timeline is that we give it to them before Christmas break and they start working on it after Christmas break, so we can have everything to us by the middle of February. Student Government Day will be the 4th Tuesday of March, as it always is. I don't have that date for you available right now, but just keep it in mind. The Student Government Day is coming up and we are working on it. The Public Relations Committee is also working on the process to start the Village Sticker Decorating Contest. We have got the particulars in order, and we will be passing it along to the school board. And please look forward to hearing about more of that, because we're really kind of excited about that. This is our first year doing this, and we think it's going to be a good thing. For some of the kids who don't get to participate in Student Government Day, we are doing this for the younger kids in the village, so we are looking forward to that. And like I said, the Sock Talk articles, if you could please, I know you guys went out and had IML, and from everything you guys are saying, it was the best time ever. And I didn't get to go.
You were there?
No, I wasn't. So, since it was the best time ever, I expect to see a lot of articles from Sock Talk to tell the residents what you did. So just to make sure if we can have some articles, that would be great. And then as far as the community outreach partnership, oh, I'm sorry, I have one more thing for public relations. Another thing that we discussed was definitely trying to make a difference with our departments. I know that the community outreach partnership has gone above and beyond for the police department, and we want to start doing that for the rest of our departments as well. So please look forward to, we've got some things in the works for November to set a thankful month. We've got some thanking to do for our department heads, so please look forward to that. And community outreach partnerships, the meeting was canceled tonight because of the fact that we do have a special meeting. We had a special meeting today, so our meeting for tonight was canceled, and we will be reconvening in 3 weeks for our regular schedule. And that concludes my report. I didn't have the date. It's the 4th Tuesday. I want to say it's the 26th.
All right. Move to item number 5, reports of departments, committees, and commissions. Move to item A, Fire Department 911 Commission, Chief Operator.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Over the past 2 weeks, the fire department responded to 17 calls. Responded to 7 car accidents, 6 fire alarms, 1 ambulance assist, 1 assist to the other agency, and 1 assist to P.L.A.N. With the weather changing, take an extra minute. Check your fluids due to the bad weather coming. You might want to have a blanket and some supplies in your car in case you get stranded. It might be a while before someone gets you. Also, please don't forget to change your batteries and your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide.
Thank you, Chief. Move to Police Department, Chief Olivas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the police department, I'd like to report first off calls for service for the period from October 8th through October 22nd. There was a total of 638 calls for service. 100 of those were traffic related, 190 other calls for service, 27 for loud music, 29 domestics, 18 for service, 28 building checks, 29 ambulance calls, and 53 for alarms. There were also 22 arrests during that time period. On an up note for the police department, over the last several months, we took on 3 grants, 2 of which we had lost over the last 2 years, one of those being the bulletproof vest grant, the other one being the STEP grant, which is our sustained traffic enforcement program. I'd like to report to the mayor and the board and the citizens that those grants have been approved. We will be getting them back. The vest grant is in the amount of approximately $15,000, and the STEP grant is somewhere in the neighborhood of $22,000. So that will increase some of our DUI details and our seatbelt enforcement details. If anyone recalls, both of those grants were revoked over the last 2 years. Also, I'd like to report that the third grant that was taken up by my administrative assistant was one for a new breathalyzer. Our breathalyzer went out of commission about 8-9 months ago, and as the mayor can tell you, I submitted a proposal for the breathalyzer of about $9,000. I'm also happy to report that we've been awarded a grant for a brand new breathalyzer, so worth $7,700 should be delivered within the next several weeks to the police department. We'd also like to report another upnote that our new vehicles have been delivered, and they are currently being outfitted with equipment, and they should be on the street. You should start seeing them on the street over the next several weeks. On a more unfortunate note, and I can't get into specific details, but over the weekend, we had a police officer resigned. That was Officer Mike Brown. And there also will be a sticker detail coming up over the next several weeks. So I want folks to be aware that the police will be out there checking through village stickers. And that concludes my report.
That's a well-deserved. Wow. So I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you very much. And you're doing a great job.
Excuse me, yeah. Will we be getting a report? I know we got one from ESSA, from the fire department. Will we get a written report from the department in our no license, or will this come a report like we did tonight? I'm asking a question. I'm sorry, I can't hear anything.
So the police department has been submitting those through email, not putting them in the mailbox.
I can times it.
Okay, I didn't get it.
Because I have it. I'll send it to those clerks, you can send it out to the trustees.
Okay.
So you want that on a weekly basis?
Well, I'm asking what is the procedure from the police department as far as
It's a
receiving
new
the
procedure
report?
of asking clearance to Mr. Mayor. Well, you want that on a weekly basis, as the report.
Well, they take every report, so they come here first and finally. If you don't have it in your box, I've been getting them through email, I've been requesting them through electronically, so I can send them to those clerks and send them.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Chief, they sent it to me.
Move to public first term, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Over the last several weeks, we've had quite a few complaints on streetlights, and probably even longer than that on a few, but the one in particular was P.L.A.N, 21906 P.L.A.N. ComEd came out to remove a wire from the trees, and the wire got removed. We did not get any help from ComEd, but we did repair the light, so there's light on that street. At this point, we pay for the wire. That's all we can do at this point. Also, along the way, we had other complaints on some lights. Saw Trail pole number 35, Chappelle, 22443 Chappelle, 1804 Olivia, number 2 Deborah Court, new light head had to go on that light. We had some other problems with it. 1808 224th, we had a pole down for a water main break for quite a while. The pole was back up, and the pole is lit. 22421 Clyde, we also had a pole down for a water main break from last year, or actually probably a year and a half ago. The pole is back up. We are waiting on light heads to come in yet, so we will replace that, and that should be lit within 2 weeks. They give me an update. 2216 220th Street, we had a storm knock down a wire, and that wire has been pulled back up. The light is lit. 22003 Torrance Avenue, we've had 3 lights out from faults under the ground, which is a pretty heavy cost to repair. That's been out 3 years. The wire has been repaired. We're still waiting on 1 light head and a connection, so those lights should be lit probably tomorrow.
We have some other ones that we're currently working on, but they're minor compared to those, just some light bulbs and photo cells. Next item, last week we had a rash of water main breaks. We had 7 locations that were called in for breaks, 10 actual cracks in the main. No unusual reason for why. We didn't have any major weather conditions or any problems in the area, but it was all in the same area over on 221st and around Chappelle. As we turned it back on, we had another one. So those are all been taken care of, and they took care of one over on Willow Tree this morning. North side list, shut-off list has started. The lists are definitely going down. This one has 182, and I've seen them upwards to over 250, so they are definitely coming down. Residents are paying their water bills and hopefully not sustaining any other debt due to not paying. Hydrant flushing south side was completed. We did have a water main break on the south side on Yates. After the end of that, that's been taken care of. We also had been waiting. We had a leak detection survey that was done in Sauk Village. There were about 7 fire hydrants that had leaks. We had ordered some parts for special connections to the hydrants on the north side due to the water main over there. Those parts have come in, so we have 2 of them that are going to be located and replaced. The first one is at 217th and Galen, which is leaking openly, and the other one is 2036, 219th place. And as we repair those, we'll continue on to the other 5 that we currently have and eliminate some of the leak survey. Also, over the last, we've had some weather conditions, some windy conditions the last week or so here. We've had some hazardous branches and trees. We ask residents anytime after windstorms, if you notice tree branches hanging from trees or something that has a split in it, give us a call. Parkway trees, village owned trees preferably. We had a few on Yates, Olivia, that were large trees that the branches were split and not noticeable until they started to sag from the rain, touching the homes, actually. Also, along the way, this is the end of the year. We also start our LEAP program. The LEAP program this year will start on November 4th. That will be the first week. You can start putting out your leaves the weekend prior. Sweeping down to the curb. Please keep them tight to the curb in the parkway. Preferably less in the street because we will have rain conditions and they will cause us problems for the storm sewers. The final date for the placement of the leaves to the curb would be November 17th. And once we go by, we will be done in that area, so nobody after the 17th. And we probably will be working past that because it takes a while to go down completely. We have a couple of locations in town where we are doing some asphalt patching. Navajo had a couple water main breaks from last year and early this year, so we're starting on Navajo. We have a couple on 222nd in that same area, and they are doing pothole patching along the way throughout the day. A couple of good things. We had the road projects this year. Finally, the landscaper came out of the 99 locations in several streets and courts. Landscaping has been taken care of. There will be some areas that the grass will come in as the season progresses into next year, and we will keep an eye on anything that doesn't and report as needed. End of the year here, we had a lot of extra work. Due to our excessive amount of water main breaks, we had both of our backhoes go down. We had some broken hoses from hydraulics. Both of those have been repaired at this point, and we'll try to keep those moving as much as possible. And including with the weather conditions, we are starting to prepare for winter, even though we could have some snow tonight. Hopefully nothing that's going to cause us any issues. But we're slowly but surely getting our trucks ready, and some of them need some maintenance. There are older vehicles, so those will be in the shop, and as we get them out, we will replace some plows and get them repaired. This year's salt allocation has been already acquired, or not purchased yet, but we do have the allocation for the tonnage that we ordered, so we should be good. We also have plenty on hand, so we shouldn't have any issues throughout this year with salt. You will also see the public works out there doing a final trim and cut on certain locations. It will not be everything in the town, but there will be the marquee fields, the village hall, and some of the vital locations. The rest will probably go throughout the rest of the year. We should be good. The final thing is we definitely have had, we've been assisting each department that's needed for any events going on in Sauk Village, each department that needs maintenance or any calls that we get, and the residents who call for any unusual questions that they're not sure who to talk to, and we have been dealing with. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm asking questions tonight. I'm speaking on behalf of the residents. These are some things that they want to know. Well, I have all the departments process. So between Public Works, the Police Department, codes, or whoever needs to address, what do I tell the residents? The raccoons are chasing their children to the bus stops. These are big raccoons, they're almost big as cats. They want to know is there plenty if they shoot them with their BB guns. I mean, they want to know if they throw rocks at them, bricks at them. They are tired of the raccoons. And part two is the roadkill for the dead animals that are around the village. Who's responsible to pick that up?
I would say the county would be the call for any wild animals at large. We don't have control of the department here for any of that stuff. We can't do anything about shooting animals in this community. We have ordinances allowing, disallowing shooting of that nature. Any roadkill or any animal that's on the roadway, you just have to call the village hall, notify Public Works, and we'll stop and pick it up.
Now, what did you say about BB guns? I'm so serious.
No ordinances.
Yeah, number one, I would not suggest, because all you're gonna do is get the direction upset, and they're really gonna attack you.
Okay, so no, they can shoot their BB guns, and if they want to have roadkill picked up, they should call what department?
They call the village hall and notify us.
Okay.
Dispatch. We'll let Kevin know if there's a dead animal in the street, and they will go pick it up as long as it's a village street.
And if it's on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, it has to just wait until Monday. Okay, thank you.
If it's a big enough animal, and it's a big enough nuisance, you just call the police department, and they will call something. But if it's small, most residents, it's on property, they can bag it and go to garbage.
All right, move to administrative services, Mr. Zinsky.
I just want to remind everybody that the village hall is now open on Wednesdays, so we need to start picking up some since we ran the shut off, notices today for the south side, we had 754 shut off notices go out today. I've been really busy this week with FOIAs. I've been overdated this week with a lot of FOIAs. So I haven't really put together a report, I'm sorry. And also, just to remind the board, when somebody answers a FOIA, please make sure I get a copy of what's provided to the individual. Please, because I have to keep the records, and if somebody says they didn't get it, I have to show that in fact we did submit the answer. So just please get the answers to me when you're answering something, and that concludes my report.
Sure. Could you, 700 shut-offs or
There were
700
754 shut-off notices that went out today, that was ran today for the south side of town. That's probably about,
I mean, that's not late notices, these are shut-offs.
these are the red and white notices.
Oh, okay, those are late notices. Okay, because I was just wondering, okay. If you got 700 shut-offs, that's a different, these are 700 late notices. Hopefully. I mean, well, they're shut off, but I'm just, in other words, what I'm saying, you didn't give 700 to Kevin to shut people off. No.
Now, normally we listen to that.
Okay, that's when you said that, you said shut off. I was looking at 700, okay, on the south side alone, no, that's, thank you. That's all.
Sometimes the average list on given shut off would be about anywhere from 100 to 189, somewhere in that range, for people that do get their water shut off or not paid.
Each month?
Every other month.
I'm saying each month, maybe you go to the north side one month and south side. Every other? Okay, so. Okay.
Use the mic, please.
Okay. All right, thank you. I just wanted to make sure, because that sounded kind of high, but I understand. Okay, thank you.
All right, move to finance.
Thank you, Mayor. There were a couple of things. The finance department has billed Cambridge for the detail for the police department in the amount of almost about $32,000. I'm expecting the check pretty soon. Next thing is, for the suggestion of mayor and board, the village conducted employee benefit fair on October 18th. 11 vendors were invited, 10 of the vendors were attended. The attendance from the employee side was really great. Almost about 20 to 25 employees were attended. The success would not have been enthusiastic without the active participation and help of the volunteers. The volunteers were Linda Carr, Sharon Novak, Pat Couch, Bob Ketchum, and Rose Ketchum. They also served light refreshments for both members as well as the employees. And in addition, the Public Works Department employees, including Mr. Kevin Weller, the Director of Public Works, with his assistants, Al Weers, Mario Westberg, Jason, Jeff Weers, and Mike Ireland. They were very helpful in arranging the tables as well as chairs for the fair. Lastly but not least, Mike Bartnicki was really helpful. He took initiative and arranged the meeting, arranged the fair very well. Kudos to all the employees, as well as the volunteers, as well as Mr. Mike Bartnicki. That is my report. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Sherry and Sue too. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. To talk about Homeland Security Agency Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. Over the last 2 weeks, I was responding to 18 calls, which consisted of 6 car accidents, 5 firearms, 1 assist to the police department, 5 school patrols, and 1 motorcycle accident.
And we move to Human Relations Commission, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just happened to announce that we had 2 residents that submitted letters of interest that attended the last Human Relations Commission meeting that we had, which is always the first Monday of every month, right here at the Village Hall. And we're going to be having a diversity dinner next year. We're planning for that diversity dinner. If you have any questions about that, you can see our Vice President for the Human Relations Commission, Commissioner Frank Williams, and that concludes my report.
Housing Commissioner, Mr. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. The other thing I have is we have our health meeting, 7 o'clock, the sugar shaker is going on.
Move to Senior Committee. I don't think that, is that on?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hate to say I'm back to this awful weather after spending a couple weeks in the 87 degrees weather.
Don't say it.
Bloom Township, just a reminder that they have sold out tickets for Thursday, October 24th. The senior luncheon, it's a monster bash with Joe Vega at Glenwoody Golf Club. Don't forget, they still are taking appointments for food shop this Wednesday and Thursday, the 22nd and 23rd from 9 to 1 at the Township. They continue their exercise every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. And Medicare enrollment for those who turn 65 this year, and also for anyone wanting to make changes, be sure you exercise your right because the enrollment is open through December 7th. And for those that need legal assistance, they have a clinic every 4th Tuesday by appointment. They do also have blood pressure screening by appointment every 3rd Wednesday. And if you need assistance in helping health insurance, the State Department has a program that the township handles would make recommendation that's called Senior Insurance Program. The SHIP, they do the counseling for you. And don't forget, for those, the weather coming up, those seniors that need transportation, Senior Wheels is available at a reasonable cost within the township. And also, if you need any information from the senior department, you can call them, 754-9400, extension 244, for any additional information or services. Don't forget, this coming Saturday is the Senior Committee's 10th Annual luncheon for spaghetti dinner. I have tickets, advance ticket, that's $5. If you wait until the day, it's $6 at the door. It's from 1 to 4. And I want to thank John Hoskin for making sure that the parking will be at the community center for their trunk and treat. And we do have entertainment by the Morgan family and Larry Long, and line dance instruction by our Flora Hayes. We do have 50-50 raffle. So tickets are available not only by me, but by the rest of the committee members and Village Hall. The senior committee sponsors the free Zumba class. Our next one is November 2nd from 1 to 1:45, and every first and third Saturday. Our free monthly blood pressure screening will be on the second Monday, November 11th from 1 to 1:45. Our paper book exchange continues on an honor system. And I just also want to remind people for our monthly movie. We have our next one is on November 4th. We're going to have a speaker, lunch, blood pressure screening, and the movie is Glory. And that's co-sponsored with the McConaughey Library. For the luncheon, you do need to call the library at 754-4771. There are flyers available for all our senior activities in the lobby and the literature rack. And for seniors who are interested in what activities we have, we also have a senior center survey that's available for people that have interest. We ask that you fill that out and provide us with your input. Our next senior committee meeting will be held on Thursday, November 14th, 5 p.m. Thank you. This ends my report.
Thank you. Move to item number 6, consent agenda. Is there any items that the trustees would like to have removed? Hearing none, next for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Second. Please call roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Hoskin.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item number 7, new business. Ask for a motion to approve the accounts payable and disbursements.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, that's not, that's okay. It's all right.
All right. New business. Motion to approve the accounts payable and disbursements for October 9, 2013 through October 22, 2013. Is there a motion to approve?
So,
Motion second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee Green.
I didn't get a chance to talk to you, Mohammed, so I do have a question on page, this is page 1, I'm sorry. Page 1, under elected officials, that expenditure that's down there, vendor number 2187. Well, I mean, because we have our own copy, what was this for?
Yeah, it's water. Water.
No, that says print cartridge. It says print cartridge.
Oh, print cartridges. It is for the housing commission.
Well, don't we have our own copy machine? I mean, did the village have their own?
No. Village, even though village has its own, he wanted the color copy, so he purchased the cartridge for housing commission to be printed on his own computer rather than putting it over here. So he purchased the print cartridge.
Does housing have its own budget?
No.
No. They were reports and stuff that were put together that were sent to the county.
Okay, but we
We
can
wanted to make sure they were in color.
Okay.
They had color center. So that's why we were able to do that. And we put together, I think, probably every report, probably, how many pages? 20, 30 pages. And we sent them to the commissioners. And we also sent them to county, and we also had presentations and stuff like that. It was quite a bit of printing, and the credit, the reports were in color. I mean, we could have, and in the future, if we wanted to, we could have one copy and it go to Kinko's. or something like that, but it's a little bit more expensive going to a Kinko's and have that many copies.
This looks like it's.
You don't know how many we have now? You know, was it, couple, 4 or 5 of us?
Two of them. Two cartridges.
No, no.
iPhone. Copies, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying how many copies we have.
I don't know, you know that.
I don't know if I can. We can do that in miscellaneous or whatever. No, that was just a question. That wasn't, I wasn't trying, I just wanted to know. I didn't know that we did that. And now I understand, but I didn't know that. Like I stated before, I didn't get a chance to talk to you between now and then. But I just wanted to see. I saw the heading where it was under that heading, and it came out of that. But if he's printed it for, you know, I didn't know, and I'm just kind of wondering. We do have our own machine, but our machine is not covered.
Great, it's black and white.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was what they were using for. Not that we didn't have a total purpose.
Any questions or comments? Any member of the clerk, please call the roll.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Poskett.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to number 8, miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees. That is Trustee Williams.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to report that on October 11th, we had our police department meet and greet. And I just wanted to say that it was a really great event, that we did have surveys that the people who were there, the residents that were there, did take part in the surveys. And we will review them tonight, and they will be reviewed at the next Community Outreach Partnership committee meeting. I just want to say thank you to all of the committee members for the shopping, the setting up, and as always, their enthusiasm. They're a great group of people, and they're always ready to help out. And they were there early, and they stayed late. So thank you to the entire committee and volunteers for helping out. And I also wanted to say thank you to the Sauk Village Police Department. We were sad that we missed you, but we understood. Becky took over, and she really handled herself. The PowerPoint was very informational, and everybody loved the tours. And we had a great Q&A session at the end. Everybody walked away with a prize. So it was really great. I think people really did enjoy that. And they're very happy that we had the food. And I just want to say thank you to all the elected officials who came out. Thank you to all the residents who came out. And I hope that all of the questions did get answered if they had any. And we look forward to doing more events like that in the future.
Just remember, all the residents, it's Halloween's approaching. Be careful. Watch your kids. They're going to be all over the place. They sneak out funny, just in these costumes now. Just be very careful driving down the road. Halloween is approaching us. And if I come to the door, you can understand it. That's all I do.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to come to each and every one of you with my head in my hand. I am very humbled to be sitting in this seat right now and to be a part of the IML conference. And yes, I was one of the ones that were down there at 8 a.m. Okay, I was the only one that down there at 8 a.m. I wasn't bragging, but yes, I was. I was the only one that was sleeping. And I was up.
I took the day off.
That's no excuse. Basically, to each every taxpayer out here, thank you for sending me to this conference. It is an unbelievable experience to have. Somebody like the mayor and Mr. Burgess that have been in it for so long, they even learned some stuff. I know this, but it's unbelievable the stuff that we learned. I mean, packets on packets of information that we've gotten. It was your taxpayers were definitely spent very well. All the trustees that went there, we all networked with so many other elected officials. We had a blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen. Abraham Lincoln actually got up out of his grave and he came and spoke at the IML conference. And he taught us a lot about having pride in this chair. And who we actually work for is the residents. And that we all have to work together at all times.
Right.
Never, ever, ever can we be divided. Now, you might not agree with which way I vote, and the next time you might agree. But we all together, sitting on this board, care very much about our municipality and each one of us. I consider everybody out there a family member. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Trustee Vasquez?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're having a Parks and Recs meeting on Friday over at the community center at 5 o'clock. It's just for finalizing the trunk and treat stuff. So anybody who wants to come out and needs any more information, that's your last chance to come by. So you're more than welcome to come by the community center. That's my next
Trustee Worship?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one quick note, I also want to comment on the IML conference. It was very, very informative. It was very enlightening. I really enjoyed myself there. I'm very humbled and honored to have had the opportunity to go. I was not there at 8 a.m. because I was at work, but I did take a half a day, and I joined the rest of the elected officials down there, and not just going to all the different classes and hearing all of the different municipalities and all of the struggles that they have, as well as some of the department heads that were there, different attorney firms that were there, learning so much about the municipality and the ordinances and the municipal codes. And it was just a lot. My arms were red carrying all these bags. They give you so much information. I knew that Clerk Williams had brought Trustee Williams everything that she needed back because she wasn't able to attend. So I brought a bag back for Trustee Myers full of information and documents about the curbs and concrete and lighting and ambulance services for the municipal community. It was just a lot of information. I really also want to say that I enjoyed all of us that went down. We went out, I think it was either 2 or 3 times together. And we just sat down and we had dinner at different restaurants and we was able to just talk and communicate. And I think that it's going to make the board even closer because we have to work together regardless of our personal differences and how we vote and how we may feel. But we actually have a good board, and I feel good about the board that's here. We clearly have our differences of opinion, but at the end of the day, we all care about the residents of Stark Village. And to walk down the streets of Chicago together, watch that car, you know, really carrying, it's like being away at college, because we don't know nobody but just each other, but we meet other friends and colleagues down there. I enjoyed the part that we did with fellowshipping, so I was very humbled to be able to go. I learned a lot, I have a lot of reading to do, and I'm looking forward to doing it next time. Thank you.
I just want to clarify some things that were said. I don't want, because we probably don't get a lot of questions behind this. First of all, when we went down, it wasn't the taxpayers' money, so please don't get that one wrong. The money that we used to go down there was money that was made when we did a deal with WinPAC about 3 years ago. We used that money, and I've been diligently making sure that we had enough. I don't know if we're going to have enough for another one. We have to, as a board, we have to get put our hats on and find out how we're going to get some more. But I'm not for using taxpayers' money to do that, even though it would benefit the village. I'm trying to still go out there and do like we did with WinPAC and see if we can do another deal that we can get money from that to go down there and get outside money rather than use taxpayers' money. So after the meeting tonight, don't ask, well, we sent you down there. Yes, you did, because you know we were down there, but the money came from a different source. It didn't come from the taxpayers, property tax and things like that. So please don't bombard everyone with that. Also, Gary, I was just asking how many. I just wanted to know how many copies that we made. That's all. That
okay, we initially printed 150, and they were code binders each.
Okay.
And I used up 5 sets of ink cartridges, and then the mayor got an email that the Cook County Board wanted for all the board. So I had to print another 50, and I said, if you want another 50, you get to pay for it.
So these, you said they were binded? You put them in binders?
Yes, they were all cone binded.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then, no.
It was a total of 200.
Okay, because I saw that, and I didn't get a chance to ask anybody about it. I just wanted to know what it was, you know, what it was for.
Yeah, it was the color maps of the whole building, the whole layout.
No problem. So I just wanted to say that, Mayor, and I'm hoping everyone can understand that we enjoy going down to IML. It is beneficial. Believe me when I tell you, it's beneficial all the way around. You know, it's something that I enjoy the experience every year, meeting new people, that working with different municipalities, and I know the mayor did. And for this time, this is the first time, and I know he's gonna look at me kind of strange, but this is the first time I saw him say, wow, I'm tired. So, because usually he's not that way, but now since he's in that particular role now, he has to, and I just looked at him and said, there you go, how you think you doing? But it was a great experience, and we all did what we had to do, and we were out there for the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Just a couple things. Going down with some of the new trustees, we have 3 new trustees sitting on the board this year. It was fun. Trustee Morton reminding us how old we are, since this is his first time. And then we've got Trustee Washington. Every time we stop, she's quizzing us to see if we knew how to do our job, so which kept us on our toes. But at the same time, it shows that they're learning something. As a newly elected official, there's a lot to learn. And I can honestly say, if you're to the point where you think you know everything, it's time for you to step down, because you can always learn something every time you go. And she even had me on my toes for a minute. I had to think about the four questions, but I think I aced every question she asked. So, but she was trying to trick me. I know that. She wanted to see if I knew how to be a mayor, I guess. But the only other thing I have is trick or treat's coming up, and I want to make sure we have our hours set. Our hours are usually 3 to 6. So what time should I go with? 3 to 6? I think last couple of years we dropped it back to 6 o'clock, right? Those years. So we went. All right, so I tell you, I have 2 times before me, just so I had clarification. I'd like to know who wants to go 3 to 6 and wants to go 3 to 7.
You got to post it. I mean, that's allowed there.
That's what I'm saying, because you got people who come home from work. So I'm saying if we do 3:30 to 6:30, then it's meeting everybody in the middle.
Six to 6:30.
3:30 to 6:30. I have 3:30 to 6:30. I heard that going once, going twice. Okay, our time for will be 3:30 to 6:30 on Halloween. We create that posted everything on the LRP, and then okay, so get on the website and get information out there. That's all I have. So I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.